Good morning, I'm Jessica Holmes. You'll soon see long lines outside of Trader Joe's stores because of a very popular item that's making a comeback. We'll explain.
All right, looking at the weather forecast, clear skies from the Mount Wilson shop. We were just outside, too, with the puppies in Hollywood, and it was clear. And, boy, that sun is really warming things up quickly. Coastal areas today, 76. Downtown at 72, but going for a high of 84. Currently 75 degrees in San Fernando Valley with a high close to 100 degrees at 98. 99 High Desert, Inland Empire 97 degrees in Orange County Inland 87 degrees. Jessica, back to you.
Mark, thank you. LA County Sheriff's deputies looking for a suspect after a deadly shooting at a local park. They say a man was shot to death last night at Thompson Park in Bellflower. Deputies were called to the 14,000 block of Bellflower Boulevard near Arthurdale Street after 9 p.m. A man was found suffering from gunshot wounds near a baseball field. He was pronounced dead at the scene. His age and name were not released. It is unclear what led to the shooting. Deputies have not released a description of the suspect.
A woman suspected of shooting a man outside of a warehouse in Huntington Beach has been shot and killed by police. The incident began yesterday morning at the California Closet store on Skylab Road. A woman opened fire on an unidentified man and then fled the scene. He's expected to survive. Hours later, Southgate police located the suspect's vehicle and conducted a traffic stop. Police say that woman pulled a gun, and that's when officers opened fire. 29-year-old Lucero San Pedro Castro was hit and later died at the hospital. A motive for the initial shooting in Huntington Beach under investigation.
We are getting our first look at new surveillance footage of a mass stabbing inside of a Walmart in Michigan last month. Video released by the Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office shows Bradford Gile going on a stabbing spree on July 26, seemingly at random with no obvious motive. A total of 11 people were hurt, including one employee, as Gile made his way outside. Video from the parking lot shows Good Samaritans confronting the suspect before police arrived to arrest him.
Crazy left, right, looking, and just like he was in panic mode for sure. I could see the knife in his hand. It's like we locked eyes, me and him did. And I was like, I just took off running after him. And I wanted the whole situation to stop. I wasn't going to let him go. I knew that. He wasn't going to get away from me.
The suspect has been charged with terrorism along with 11 counts of attempted murder. Officials say he has a history of violence and mental health issues. All of the stabbing victims are expected to survive.
President Trump making a move to try to abolish mail-in ballots. He claims that evidence that along with electronic voting machines, they open the door for election fraud. Experts say he can't make that decision. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos joins us from the newsroom to explain. Annie Rose, good morning.
Hi, Frank. Good morning. The president announcing on his social media site Monday that he plans to lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots and voting machines in this country ahead of next year's midterm elections. Now, it was a long post. We're not going to read all of it, but you can see here just how long it is. Part of what he wrote was promising to, quote, bring honesty and integrity back to our elections, claiming the states are merely an agent for the federal government, saying they must do what the federal government tells them to. Now, during a meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the White House yesterday, Mr. Trump said he is already working on an executive order to ban mail-in voting, even though the Constitution does not give him the power to do so.
Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them.
Now, the United States is, in fact, not the only country that uses mail-in ballots. According to the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, 34 countries allow postal voting. Among those countries are Canada, the UK, and Australia, just to name a few. Now, the topic of mail-in voting came up during Mr. Trump's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin last Friday. After the two met, Mr. Trump told Fox News' Sean Hannity that the two leaders talked about the 2020 election. Putin apparently telling Trump he won that election, even though audits and investigations showed no evidence that the 2020 election results were inaccurate.
Vladimir Putin, smart guy, said you can't have an honest election with mail-in voting. And he said there's not a country in the world that uses it now.
Now, back in 2024, Mr. Trump himself urged his supporters to vote using mail-in ballots prior to that presidential election. And in 2020, Mr. Trump cast his own vote in Florida by using a mail-in ballot. Now, this morning, experts are weighing in on whether the president can actually get rid of mail-in voting.
He can't. So he could go ahead and bring it on. He could go ahead and sign a fictitious, legally non-legal executive order. But many groups, many civil rights groups and voting rights groups and people of sound judgment are going to fight him on this. Quite frankly, the states should be up in arms because he does not have the ability to order the states to seize mail-in ballots. Each state gets to decide how they're going to conduct elections. In fact, we have some states now that are 100% mail-in ballots. So he simply can't do it.
Now, some of our viewers this morning wanting some clarification on the difference between absentee voting and vote by mail. In some states, you must request an absentee ballot to vote. Not here in California, where our vote by mail program automatically sends a ballot to every active registered voter before an election. It's still unclear if the president wants to get rid of the absentee voting method as well. Now, the president also taking aim at voting machines, calling them, quote, highly inaccurate, as well as more expensive and less reliable than counting paper, making all of these claims yesterday without evidence. Jessica?
All right, Annie Rose, thank you for that this morning. A fiery crash causing a power outage overnight in San Pedro. A white Buick Enclave slammed into a power pole, snapping it in half. It happened just before 2 a.m. on Pacific Avenue near Bonita Street. The car was on top of a transformer, which then caught fire. The car was quickly engulfed. Power lines were knocked down, causing the power to go out in the area. It's unknown if the driver was hurt or arrested or what caused the crash.
This weekend, SpaceX will try once again to launch its gigantic 400-foot Starship spacecraft. First three attempts of 2025 ended in dramatic explosions. That was one of them. Since then, Starship has been redesigned in a way that the company says should improve control of the vehicle and enable the booster to reach higher altitudes. Weather permitting, the next launch attempt will be Sunday afternoon, 4:30 our time, from the company's Starbase headquarters in South Texas. It'll be the 10th test flight for Starship, which SpaceX hopes will someday take people to Mars. Next year, the company hopes to send the first uncrewed Starship to the Red Planet.
All right. Hello, Mark.
Fascinating stuff, but they haven't had good luck with that one.
Yeah.
But
Boy.
you know, if you think about Apollo and
Right.
all that, I mean, same thing.
Same thing, yeah. It all starts rough and
It's
then,
a process.
It's a process. And as they say, it's great because it's a learning experience.
That's
You
right.
learned. Okay, let's go to the weather forecast. Beautiful here. I don't have the Texas forecast, but I hope the weather isn't an issue for that launch. Look at this, Long Beach. Clear skies. And as I said, I was out at the outside here, clear, and it is warming up very, very quickly. As far as the weather forecast goes, 72, 2 degrees cooler than yesterday at this time, and the relative humidity is 76%. But over the weekend, it's going to be quite high, and we could get some of those showers and thunderstorms in various areas. 85.